People have for the past 2 weeks have been going in on Charlamagne, even though it has not been printed a lot on TMZ and most of the major networks. Smaller internet has done an amazing job of promoting this mouth to mouth to the point where they have to even address it on the show, as they tried to hope that this thing would die down. But with Charlamagne making so many statements in the past, whether it's tweets or actual comments that were almost relative to the case that was filed against him 17 years ago, he's joking about it on the radio stations and everything else. A lot of people felt uncomfortable. And because a lot of people felt uncomfortable about it, but because it went down in the fashion that it did, it brought a lot of things to light. It brought a lot of people to the realization that there's going to be even bigger things probably to come. Now, when you hear certain things that happened in the past, even fans in the comment section was saying there are other things. And once you start making things public, they'll go and do the research and start to dig up things that you probably yourself had never heard of. Because, you probably don't follow the show that much, or it's just something that just went past your ear. And Charlamagne, the guy, has been defending himself in the wake of all the resurfaced interviews and admitting that he even, in his estimation, raped his own wife the first time they had sex. And I'm not making that up. You guys probably heard it. If you hadn't, here we go.
I keep telling y'all, I've told y'all this over and over. It's a lot of things that guys did, especially when we were young, that were rape, that we just didn't consider rape. And I'm married to my wife. Me and my wife dated for a whole year. She would not give me no pussy. Yeah. Me and my wife hung out one Saturday night, and she got sloppy drunk and passed out at my mama's house, and I got that pussy. No. I mean, she was fucking me back and all that, but she was really drunk. So I asked her yesterday, I was like, yo, did I rape you the first time we ever had sex? And she looked and she goes, I mean, in hindsight, yeah. No.
So, even though that people saying that's his wife, and he tried to explain himself on another podcast, saying that his past actions, and he insisted that he communicated everything wrong. And he also apologized to victims triggered by his careless comments. So now he's taking onus for the comments, saying that he just communicated things wrong. And that's not what he meant. But what did you mean? That's what the people want to know. Well, if you communicated it wrong, then what did you mean? And they saying, oh, well, it's just jokes. Some jokes are funny and some jokes aren't. When jokes become reality, then you might not have been joking. People probably thought it was jokes then, but now when there's paperwork of situations, it's kind of hard to say you were just joking now. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to convince people, like, hey, I was just kidding. Those are jokes. Now, I understand for him, it's entirely different because for him, he's in a whole different bracket. He's going into a whole nother level. He's rebranding himself. He's protected by a lot of people in the industry, so he's changed up his image. The show has changed a lot from what it used to be. Charlamagne is not doing the things he used to do on the show. Believe me, he's not. He's changing his whole shirt. And because he's changing his whole shirt, he's trying to become the legitimate person he should have been and ask the appropriate questions and become a real journalist, and interview the politicians, the people that's in the activist movements. And he wants to get on that level and stay in that zone. Why? Because there's more money in it, it's more opportunities for other things down the road. He wants to be like Van Jones. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with him wanting to better himself and go and do some other things of that nature. And I have no problem with that. I really don't. But he's got to deal with things from his past coming to haunt his future. So he's got to deal with that internally. But we as the public, don't tell us we're stupid or we're wrong and we're just supposed to buy everything that comes out of your mouth. And thinking by omitting it and just saying it's nothing without really fully addressing this thing, then I can't honor that. And I definitely won't honor Angela Rye doing what she did. She just exposed herself. So if people let you know who they really are when they let their guards down and just get called out there saying things. Because she's the reason Charlamagne had to address this. She's the reason. Because once she commented back to the actual case and everything included, then it became national. People was picking it up and running with it. Now let her enemies and detractors rather get a hold of that. Oh, they were gonna have a field day marching that around. So with that being said, it's your boy Carcino. I'm out. You make your own opinions, you make your own judgments, but listen before you do. That's all we say.